The FBI insists that newly released surveillance footage proves no one entered Jeffrey Epstein's cell block the night that he died. The problem with that is CBS has released a report that has looked at this video, analyzed this video, and now, are there apparent discrepancies between what the video shows and what the government is saying? We are going to break down exactly what is going on here, and we are going to speak with a former FBI agent about what this really tells us. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, so before we get into the story, I wanted to make a quick announcement. Law&Crime, we need your help. So we want to create something new for our viewers, something that you'll love and enjoy. But we want to make sure that what we create is based on your opinion and your voice. So what we did is we created a short survey to get your feedback. And we're going to be selecting 10 people at random who took the survey to get a free Law&Crime t-shirt. If you want your voice to be heard, please check out the survey. Let us know your thoughts. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Back to the story. Do you remember when the FBI and the DOJ released their statement several weeks back confirming that after a thorough investigation, they concluded convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein died by his own hand in the Metropolitan Correction Center in NYC back on August 10th, 2019? Remember that? That it was consistent with the autopsy, that it was, quote, supported by video footage from the common area of the Special Housing Unit, SHU, where Epstein was housed at the time of his death? That as DOJ's Inspector General explained in 2023, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the SHU common area would have been captured by this footage. The FBI's independent review of this footage confirmed that from the time Epstein was locked in his cell at around 10:40 p.m. on August 9th, 2019 until around 6:30 a.m. the next morning, nobody entered any of the tiers in the SHU. During this review, the FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast, balancing the color, and improving its sharpness for greater clarity and viewability. We remember this statement? And then, of course, we know former Attorney General William Barr said in his personal review of surveillance footage, it didn't show anyone entering Epstein's area. Current FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino echoed that the video clearly showed Epstein was alone. But CBS News has now come forward and has come out and said that its independent analysis of the video that the FBI released is not so clear-cut. The main thing is that you don't have a great view of the entrance to Epstein's cell block, citing that is not in line with what we're hearing from officials. Now, CBS News, they created a digital reconstruction of the prison layout using references from the 2023 DOJ Inspector General's report, and they say there are a bunch of inconsistencies between the video, the IG report, and what officials have said publicly. Now, to be very clear here, the video that was released, it doesn't disprove that Epstein died by his own hand, but it seemingly raises questions about the investigation. And so I want to back up for a second. I want to give you a general overview of this facility, okay? So Epstein was being held in the MCC in Manhattan in a secluded area called the SHU, the Special Housing Unit. It had 3 wings, each with 2 levels, and Epstein was kept on the upper floor of this wing. So to get to this cell, you'd have to take a staircase from the common area, and this is right where the guards usually worked. Now, according to the IG report, the Inspector General's report, which we reviewed, there were multiple cameras in the unit streaming live, but apparently nobody was actually watching them. The report reads, this investigation and review revealed long-standing deficiencies with MCC New York's security camera system. These deficiencies resulted in nearly all of the cameras in and around the SHU where Epstein was being housed to not record video starting in late July 2019 and continuing through the date of Epstein's death on August 10th, 2019. According to forensic analysis conducted by the FBI after Epstein's death on July 29, 2019, a disk failure in MCC New York's DVR2 system caused approximately half of the institution's cameras, including nearly all of the cameras in and around the SHU, to display only a live video feed with no video recording. MCC New York personnel did not learn of this system failure until 11 days later on August 8, 2019. MCC New York personnel determined that the DVR2 system needed to be rebuilt to restore recording functionality. Despite the lack of recording functionality, this repair was not completed until after Epstein's death. And so thanks to the broken equipment, you really got one camera that recorded anything useful. That single camera caught a slice of the common area, just a bit of the officer's station, and a small section of the stairs apparently leading to Epstein's cell. Talking a video like this, let me tell you real quick, we here at Sidebar, we produce so many video clips a day, and we use a platform called Opus Clip. And if you're interested, if you're on social media and you want to learn more about how to do this, this is an all-in-one AI editor that makes it easier and faster to cut, create, and upload videos across all social media platforms. So through the power of AI, Opus Clip automatically generates B-roll, it cleans up audio, and it reframes your videos for any platform. Opus Clip is so easy to start using. I'm going to show you how right now. All you have to do is go to opus.pro/sidebar, sign up, and then upload a video. In just a few minutes, you will have tons of perfectly edited clips ready to go. So whether you're making videos for TikTok or Shorts or Instagram Reels, Opus Clip is your one-stop shop for getting your best content seen by more viewers across all these platforms with the press of literally just one button. And if you're wondering how good the AI edited videos are from Opus Clip, I'll tell you what, just look at our content here at Law&Crime. Our producers have used Opus to help us cut and share clips of some of our most major trials, and having a tool like Opus Clip means we can get you even more viral updates from inside the courtroom faster than ever before. At Sidebar, we know our listeners have a lot of opinions and ideas to share, and this is the most powerful tool there is to help you edit like a pro and grow your own audience. So give it a try for yourself. Go to opus.pro/sidebar to start creating your own videos today. So we're going to dissect this jail footage, okay, and based on the CBS report. The footage is apparently 11 hours long, completely silent. It covers Epstein's last night in his cell at the MCC on August 9th, 2019. The recording begins at 7:40 p.m. And mostly you just see prison staff doing routine stuff, filling out paperwork, handling blankets. And in the back there, you can see the officer station where we know two officers who have been identified publicly were working. Tova Noel, who was a corrections officer working a double shift and was already working at that time, and Michael Thomas, an apparent material handler who would not arrive until midnight. Now, the camera's view is really limited, only showing parts of staircases and doorways, but the staircase leading to Epstein's cell, mostly out of frame. At about 9 minutes into the video, according to the report from the Justice Department Inspector General, Epstein himself only appears once, walking with an officer back to his cell. And the camera misses some critical areas like the entrance to his cell and the main entrance to the special housing unit. Now remember, Dan Bongino, he told Fox and Friends that Epstein could be seen as clear as day walking alone. But here's the thing, this appears to show Epstein walking towards stairs with his escort. Now remember, regarding this video camera, the 2023 Inspector General's report specifically says, quote, anyone entering or attempting to enter Epstein's SHU tier from the SHU common area would have been picked up by that video camera. But with the way this camera is positioned, we don't actually see Epstein take the stairs here or any sort of path between the entrance to his cell and the stairs. Now, at one point, there's an orange figure or an orange object that we see emerge and walk towards the stairs where Epstein's cell is, but it's not clear what that is, who that is. Now, per the Inspector General report, one of the on-duty guards, Tova Noel, said she conducted rounds through each tier in the special housing unit and went to Epstein's cell where she saw him lying on a mattress on the floor, which was typical for him, she said. And you can see a figure believed to be her making her way in that direction, but you don't really see her climb the stairs. And what's alarming about this is that rounds were supposed to be conducted twice per hour, and regarding Epstein, the rules were even more strict because per the Inspector General report, this sign was posted at the guard station. It reads, mandatory rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein. But the investigation by the IG concluded that the mandatory rounds really weren't conducted during the shift. Now at around 10:38 p.m. in the video, you can see movement on the stairs, this orange figure or an orange object. And the Inspector General report reveals that someone was over there carrying linens to the stairs. The issue is experts told CBS they weren't sold on this conclusion and thought it could be an inmate. Now, this is when authorities say no one else approached his cell block until the next morning. And this is an important disclaimer to throw in here too. While this video does not give us any reason to believe that anyone did approach his cell block after that timestamp, this very obstructed view that we're given does raise questions as to whether anyone did use the stairs after 10:38 p.m. Now, per the report, Knoll told investigators no one was allowed in on this night. and that she would have had to physically open the door to allow someone to enter that area of the unit. And I want you to remember that last part, because even though that's what she said, you can see, or apparently see, at all these various times throughout the night where one of the guards, believed to be either Noel or Thomas, walks over towards that direction and kind of disappears out of view. And you go back to what I was saying about needing to physically open the door. If you look at this shot at 4 a.m., you can see someone enter from that side of the screen alone. But we don't believe there's any explanation for this in the report. This would have occurred during the time when it would have been just Noel and Thomas on duty, the latter arriving at around midnight to begin the shift. Now, the video even shows several individuals entering and exiting while Thomas and Noel are seen nowhere near the door or not present at all, again, seemingly contradicting what had been said. And as a result, there is really no way to know from the video if indeed it was possible for someone to enter the unit and climb the stairs to Epstein's cell without being seen. Now, there's a few other noteworthy things in here that we have not touched upon, and one of which you've probably been waiting for, the missing minute of footage that everybody has been talking about. And we're going to get to that. But first, let's take a closer look at something else that happened before midnight in the 11th hour. At the 11:21 marker, you can actually see a mouse cursor appear on the screen. That raises questions about whether or not this could have been a screen recording as opposed to the actual true raw video. CBS reports that experts told them this video's metadata revealed that this video was generated in May of this year. And furthermore, one expert, Jim Stafford of the Eclipse Forensic Services, said the metadata was likely a screen capture and not a true export of the raw file. And experts further told CBS that there was a shift in the frame aspect ratio. That means the ratio of an image's width to height, meaning this could even have been two clips stitched together instead of raw rolling footage. Okay, now on to the part that you've been waiting for. The missing minute of footage. Okay, so right here at 11:58:58, you'll see the footage jump right to midnight, skipping to 11:59. Attorney General Pam Bondi had said that that skip was caused by the camera resetting itself at midnight, saying at a press conference there was a minute that was off the counter, and what we learned from the Bureau of Prisons was every night they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999, so every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. However, according to CBS, a government source told them that Pam Bondi was incorrect in that assessment, and we don't have any additional video. And now we're hearing that the FBI, the DOJ, the Bureau of Prisons may have a copy of this footage that is full, raw, unedited. But why have we not seen this? That's unclear. And importantly, no missing minute or skip in the footage was documented or appeared to be documented in the investigation by the IG. Both Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, they were charged with falsifying records. Those charges were eventually dropped. No higher-ups or BOP officials were ever held accountable. The FBI closed the case, saying the video supported the medical examiner's ruling on Epstein's cause of death. But as we've just shown you, the footage, does it 100% prove no one entered Epstein's area undetected? That becomes a question. And remember these portions that we showed you earlier with guards walking off toward that area? Per the Inspector General report, only 2 cameras in the vicinity of Epstein's housing area were recording. One which we've shown here, but the other? Still a mystery. Per the IG's report, this was a camera located in an elevator bay that provided video of the exit onto the facility's 9th floor, and you could see a screenshot of what that camera captured here in the report, but the video hasn't been released. CBS News reached out to the Justice Department, the Bureau of Prisons, the FBI, and the Inspector General for answers on what's in that missing footage, but they say they were given the ring around. A spokesperson for the Inspector General emailed CBS the following statement. The OIG appreciates the careful review of our report. Our comprehensive assessment of the circumstances over the weeks, days, and hours before Epstein's death included the effects of the long-standing chronic staffing crisis in the BOP and the BOP's failure to provide and maintain quality camera coverage within its facilities. As CBS notes, nothing in its analysis changed or modified the OIG's conclusions or recommendations. That is true. Okay, so what do we make of all this, right? Well, let me bring on somebody who knows the inner workings of the FBI. Retired FBI agent Colin Schmitt, current president and CEO of Kronos Investigations, has been following the Epstein-Maxwell saga for quite some time. Thank you so much for coming on. What to you was the biggest takeaway from this CBS report?
Well, the fact that they had noticed an anomaly or aberrant thing or something or unidentified artifact in the video.
You're talking about the orange thing, the orange part?
The orange thing. Now that the DOJ is trying to explain that away by saying, well, that's another prison guard. But as I understand it, prison guards don't wear orange jumpsuits.
Well, let's be clear about it. So there's orange object just before 10:40 p.m., moves up to the Epstein area. The report says, the IG report says, through review and analysis of the SHU video footage, witness statements, and BOP records, the OIG determined that at approximately 10:40 p.m., a CO corrections officer believed to be Knoll carried linen or inmate clothing up to the L tier, which was the last time any CO approached the only entrance to the SHU tier in which Epstein was housed. Now, however, CBS reported that video forensics experts say it could be an orange prison jumpsuit. So that's the discrepancy.
You got to add some logic to this. If they're going to bring up linens or an orange jumpsuit, are they going to have it on a hanger and it's going to be hanging down as if they're delivering a $300 customized suit, Italian suit? No, it's going to be folded up when they give it to them. So the video, it's just continually adding more and more and more fuel to the fire, more questions to this, as well as the fact that the forensic analysis of the video shows there was a minute missing, and then the analysis of the metadata is showing that the video was not the original, it was altered.
A lot of different parts of this. Let's talk about the missing minute. You heard Attorney General Pam Bondi talk about the explanation for the missing minute, saying the camera was reset, but a government source told CBS that seems to be inaccurate. Now, the reporting also suggests that the FBI, the DOJ, the Bureau of Prisons may have the full unredacted footage that they could release. We don't know what's true. Is there a reason they wouldn't release all the footage if it exists?
I'm not aware of a reason, since they've already said that there's nothing to hide or nothing. They want to be completely transparent. I have received video from prisons before when I was on the job with the FBI, raw video, and it's in a certain, basically a certain format. And then you'll have the reader, which will also be downloaded. So it appears that this wasn't given to the media in that raw format. It was given in like a movie format or something you would see if you modified it using Apple or one of the other systems or softwares. So it just, once again, it's creating a growing sense of frustration with the community on, okay, just put everything out there and let's just deal with it. Let the cards fall, let's deal with it.
What did you make of the cursor and the menu that pops up? Because it's, at first you might be thinking you're looking at the raw footage, but is it, or was it taken from a screen of some kind?
Well, that's the other thing, is, was it a screenshot? Were they using screen recording to get this out? And that's absolutely unacceptable. If you're going to give out footage to the media, give out the raw footage with the reader or the system to play it properly. Don't do a screen grab. And if you're going to do that, or if you want to do that, then just don't even bother releasing it, because this is what you're going to have. Lots and lots of questions.
I mean, unless there was some sort of way where that was the only way to distribute it, but I don't think that seems accurate. I mean, if there wasn't a way to actually deliver the full file in a way, in its raw form, if you had to only do it through a screen grab, does that sound correct? I don't know.
No, because like I said, I've got video from BOP prison before, as well as other jails. And like I said, it'll be given to you in a raw format, and then you'll also be given the reader or the player that can play that format, so you can view the footage, stop, go forward, and basically have a forensic copy, so to speak, because otherwise it can't be used in court if it's been modified.
Let me emphasize this one more time. I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. There's nothing based on the reporting that seems to counter the conclusion that Epstein died from his own hand. But it does raise questions about the investigation, whether or not this was sloppy. I mean, here's the thing. According to CBS, Jim Stafford, who is a video forensics expert, reviewed this surveillance footage from the prison, or from the MCC, and also reviewed the Inspector General's report and told CBS News, quote, "To say that there's no way that someone could get to that, the stair up to his room," meaning Epstein's room, "without being seen is false." So Colin, can two things be true at once? Can we say that Epstein was alone, that no one came near him, but at the same time, we may not have all the angles? I'm trying to reconcile this, right? Where you could say, take the statements from the government, this is what the footage shows, it's clear as day what it shows, it proves our conclusion, but at the same time, you may be able to say it, but you might not have all the angles. I guess I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Well, you can't prove a negative, okay, unless you have the video from start to finish of the inside of his jail cell, basically watching him take his own life. So we don't have the complete picture, whether it doesn't exist or it wasn't made available, number one. Number two, we don't have the 302s or the reports of interviews of those two prison guards that were on duty at the time to see what they said contemporaneous with when this occurred, or as close to when this occurred when they were interviewed. So it just, once again, it's just adding more fuel to the fire with more questions to be asked.
Can there be a benign explanation for why there's apparent inconsistencies, whether it's the movement of people, whether it's the movement of Epstein in the video? Is there a benign explanation for what the government has laid out about what the video shows versus what CBS is reporting through video analysis suggests?
Well, everybody's heard of Occam's razor, which is the simplest explanation, is usually the best. But there's also something out there called Hanlon's razor, is don't assume malice when incompetence will give you the best explanation. So in terms of a benign explanation, I think in this case, it's just a pattern of incompetence in terms of making sure the proper and complete record has been released to the public.
At this time, I don't know what's going to happen from this. I mean, do you think the FBI, the DOJ, further investigate this in some way based on CBS's reporting? Do they not? Where do you think this goes based on this report from CBS?
Well, I think it's all going to be up to President Trump on how much fuel he wants to, or how many resources he wants to put towards this, because ultimately Congress is getting involved because their constituents want answers, both sides of the aisle, as well as our own media, and as well as probably entities inside of the Department of Justice that want to know and want to get the full picture and truth out to the American people. So it's really going to kind of lie in President Trump's hands on whether he decides, hey, I want the whole thing done all over again with a new team, with new management, and get it done correctly, or he's going to want to just let this kind of die on the vine and hope everybody just moves on.
And by the way, as we're talking about this, Colin, there's that whole part of this report that seems to suggest, was it one complete video or was it stitched together a little bit?
Well, and that's the other problem with this, is that several entities have looked at this, and based upon the metadata, it appears that this was stitched together. It wasn't one continuous flowing copy of the occurrences that occurred there. Once again, showing or leading people to believe that the video was manipulated before it was released to the public.
Yeah, it's going to further the conversation, I think, in a lot of different ways. When that statement was released from the DOJ and the FBI several weeks ago, they might have anticipated it was going to be the end of the story, but clearly not. And this report from CBS, this analysis through CBS, is definitely going to continue the conversation. Colin Schmitt, thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.